No, by that point I was a 10-year veteran. You know, when I was 4 to 5, I started already doing lemonade stands. I sold baseball cards when I was 9, 10 years old. So I've been very entrepreneurial my whole life. By the time I got into my dad's store, I already had my own significant, you know, business theories.
Right.
And so it was a shock actually, because I've been so successful in my own baseball card business, making, you know, $500 to $1,000 a weekend selling baseball cards, that making $2 an hour to work for my dad was a huge fall of grace. So that's basically what happened. Absolutely. I firmly believe that people don't listen to their DNA enough, and I feel like I have, and there's a lot of my success comes from that. And I definitely feel I was born an entrepreneur, for sure. I story told. Content is king. We had the best wine store. We had the best prices, the best selection, arguably one of the 10 best, you know, within that top 7 to 10, there's always good debating. But so content, but then marketing and storytelling, I just hustled everybody. You know, I think I worked more than everybody. And I built infrastructure. I hired a lot of good people and created a culture, and all the principles I believe in, all the same things that I did to build Wine Library TV, all the same things I'm going to do to build Vaynermedia. It's a formula. Traditional media, and it cost me a crap load of money. It was definitely an expensive venture, and it definitely worked, but the cost was millions of dollars. And if I was starting from zero instead of the several million the business was already doing, it would have taken me much longer. It would have taken me much longer. And so that's the reality for most people watching now, and thus that's the appreciation and the sex appeal of social media, Web 2.0, new media, whatever you want to call it, because the cost of entry to start building buzz and creating some attention is zero. It's a lot of sweat equity, but people have sweat. People don't necessarily have 10 G's that they can put into buying ads. And of all places, London, in January or February of 2007, at FOA, Future of Web Apps, Ryan Carson's event. It was early. It was before South by when it really blew up. So it was South by 07, not 09 or 08. So it was early, and I understood it right away. I understood it right away. I fell in love with it immediately.
So you saw it straight away, and you thought you instantly saw the marketing.
Word of mouth on steroids. Absolutely. Wait, 40,000 people can follow me, and I can send a link. I like this. No, not at all. Actually, I think some people may, but I feel like I don't. And by the way, I don't mind if people want to consider me that. I don't, because I consider myself, you know, an entrepreneur and a storyteller. Twitter's one of the tools. You know, Wine Library TV was successful before Twitter came out, so I don't feel like Twitter is my biggest identity. But on the flip side, I would be naive to not recognize that a good majority of people first discovered me through that platform. So I have nothing against it. I personally don't. I'm sure some people do. But I would probably consider myself a video blogger, let's say, in that umbrella, before I even consider myself a Twitter celebrity, you know? I listened. I interacted a lot. You know, if you look at my screen right now, there's a lot of ad replies. You know, I feel as though I care. I feel people, you know, cut through bullshit very quickly. And I'm a very animated character, and I'm a salesman. So for social media, Web 2.0 and the hippies, I can be a little bit too much. And I can be the first, you know, I'm sure a lot of people who like me today dislike me at first. But I think ultimately, cream rises to the top. And so I think ultimately, I know what I'm talking about. I have the chops. If we're gonna talk business, I understand that, you know, and I care. I answer a lot of emails. I respond to a lot of people. So I just outcare most people. And I think ultimately that's why I won. When everybody was trying to figure out what to say, I was using surmise and figuring out what I was listening to and responding, and that differentiated me. At first I was following everybody who followed me. I really don't follow anybody, truth be told. I search my name and my world, and I get so much intake that I want to respond to that I'm not a consumer. I don't consume a lot of media at all. I don't read enough blogs. To be honest, I'm trying to get back into consuming more because it makes you educated. But I don't really follow a whole lot of stuff. I'm really following what comes into my email box and my Facebook wall. You know, I'm spending more and more time on Facebook.com/Gary, a lot more time. So, you know, I'm doing responsive instead of consuming. Use it, but don't make it your only sword in your chest of weapons. I think way too many people become massively reliant on it, and I think it's hurting people.
In what sense?
They become one-trick ponies. They've stopped blogging. They've stopped interacting in MySpace or Bebo, or Facebook, or Orchid. They've not tumbled as much. They've not used as many videos on YouTube. They become one-trick ponies. A lot of people. If you're not interested in working your face off, and I'm talking every hour, then it's probably not the best thing to go into business for yourself, maybe a couple partners. Number two, if you don't build a business around the thing you love the most, you're gonna get tired and you're gonna quit. The only way to really, truly build a big time business is love it so much that you want to do it instead of spending time with your loved ones, instead of going to video games, or instead of watching your favorite soccer or football team. You know, so it's very important to have that love, because without the passion, it's why passion is on the cover. Without the passion, I really don't think you can be successful. And three, no drawing lines in the sand. It doesn't matter what you think. The consumer's always right. They're gonna move the trends. If you think Twitter's stupid, that's great. So could a bunch of other people. But any platform that gets 60 million users in 1 year deserves your respect. And so true for so many other things. Poo-pooing MySpace because it's not the cool new thing, it's not a smart business decision. Too many people draw lines in the sand, and flexible and reactionary business, being able to adjust to what happens tomorrow, is the only way to be successful. I wanted to change the culture of wine in America. I felt like wine was stodgy and uppity, and people were being talked down to, and I wanted to create a new platform for people to be excited about wine. And so I just felt like I was the kind of character that could do it. I had the knowledge base, I had the tech savviness, the marketing. It was a perfect storm. You know, I'm not naive, and I'm not Mother Teresa. I knew there would be residual impacts on Wine Library, the store, but it was never about selling wine. It was never QVC or Home Shopping Network, because people can sniff that out, and that would have been eliminated in 2 seconds. Yeah, I do, because it's inexpensive. It's a lot of content in that. Even though it's 150 pages, it's a lot of content for 12, 13, 14 bucks. So I still think the pricing model on books is a lot better than a lot of other things, whereas magazine articles, that's what you're getting online. Books are rare to get online. I mean, people can do ebooks and all that stuff, but you don't get that much content. I mean, for a lot of people who know all my stuff, they were even able to get nuggets out of this book. And so I do, but I'm not naive. It doesn't have to look like that. It could go into, you know, the Kindle or the Nook or your iPhone or whatever comes next, our hand, you know, once we start becoming robots. I mean, you know, so I'm not necessarily romanced by the platform. That we're going through real change right now. This is not the, you know, cable television. This is not, you know, a fad or a small thing. This is the fundamental change of the way media and communication works in our society. This is the biggest thing since the printing press, and the internet is underrated.